Perfect. Okay, let's start. So welcome to this webinar about AI with me, Daniel from Loopia, and Antti, who's with us. And he's also the reason why we speak English today, which is a new thing for Loopia. So Antti is Finland's AI genius. And so he's going to talk us through the starting things with AI, what's nice to learn and what's nice to know about AI. And just so you know, we have a chat where you can ask questions, and I will then collect the questions, and we will have two parts of this webinar where we'll ask questions to Antti, and I might reply to them instantly if there's a question I know the answer to. And feel free. This webinar is also recorded, and we're going to put it up on Loopia's YouTube channel within a week or so. So if you don't have time to sit through the whole webinar, feel free to go to Loopia's YouTube page after that. And if you might have some experience with disturbances and stuff, there is a reconnect button, so you can try it if you lose the sound or anything. So just try the reconnect button that you see in your screen, and hopefully you will be back here. But yeah, we're soon over 300 people live here, so over to you, Antti.
And you can hear me well, Daniel?
I can hear you well.
Excellent. So let's move on. God eftermiddag alla, jag heter Antti Merilehto. Men så att alla kan förstå mig bättre, det ska vara på engelska idag för att jag talar det här Mumin-svenska. So, in English, my name is Antti Merilehto. I'm really happy to be here with you today, looking at artificial intelligence from the perspective of an entrepreneur. Because we all know that entrepreneur is someone who makes things happen, no matter what. And these tools that we have right now are literally changing the way we can create things, we can build things, market, sell. And today, expectation management, this is not a training where we go a tool by tool, which button does what. But with Loopia crew, we decided that this will be a webinar where you understand how these tools work, where to get started, and so that you can create real value for your customers really soon. If you look at this map, this is the terra incognita, the unknown land, from the time when maps were drawn. And people who went with the ships to explore, they had so many risks. They thought that there are the land of the red dragons, that dragons are eating, the sea snakes are eating the ships, or that there are huge fish that eat, again, the ships. And why we are looking at this is that the season, the way we are doing things, way we are creating has changed. And I don't mean everyone has done it, absolutely not, but the potential changed the day when ChatGPT was launched. It was end of November 2022. And when we're looking at that time and we're seeing what things have come possible in the last year and a half, it is just amazing. And my promise to you is that by attending this webinar, you know how to use these tools so that you are not at risk, meaning that you know, depending what tool you're using, what information you can share, so on and so forth, and that you know how to use the products, the text or image that you are getting from these tools. When we were planning this webinar with Loopia for you, we wanted to have a good, solid framework that we can promise what will you get from this webinar. And you will know the best AI tools for marketing. And this is marketing, this is sales. There are so many tools out there that I would say it is very meaningful to pick the one that suits you. And it depends if you're in a Microsoft environment, if you're in Google environment, so on and so forth. And what is the tool that you're going to use the most? and then start using one tool and learning, because these tools, they move forward technologically super fast. We're also going to take a look on prompting. Prompting is what you write to these tools. And now I have to say expectations management again. If you are advanced user, you have been using multiple tools, we might be going through the basics, because again, the level that we're aiming at might be that you just haven't used the tools, and that's quite okay. But we're going to go through the basics once we're looking at where the real value of these tools lies. And you will also know for your level, for your business, for your experience, how and what are the next steps to take. When I attend seminars, they might be live or webinars like today, I'm always interested in to understand who the trainer, what are their lenses that they look at the subject they're talking about. And for myself, I've been an entrepreneur for more than 20 years. I've founded several companies, and always, like I say, if somebody, entrepreneur themselves or somebody in the team, isn't marketing and selling, there's very little the company has to do anyhow. So in this case, the way I look at the world is that what are the customer needs? How can we serve the client? What are different ways? How is our competition trying to serve the client, always making all of us better? I'm also investor, early stage investor in startups. They are most often tech startups with AR or data. And there, why this is particularly important here is that as an entrepreneur, we're looking at things that are taking place now. We're putting down fires. I don't know if you recognize this, but I do. And as an investor, we're looking 12, 18, 24 months ahead. What problem does customer have that we might have a solution? And does the team that we have the capability to create the solution so that the customer is willing to give their money? I'm also author on artificial intelligence. For transparency, I used to work for Google. I don't own any stock. My background is Master of Science in business. Some of the companies I work with. Excellent. This is the very familiar screen. So what we're seeing here is the very basic ChatGPT screen. And sometimes when I'm giving presentations, and if the audience is more IT or ICT, I often get but what do you mean? Why ChatGPT? There's so many other language models like ChatGPT. There's Llama from Meta. There's Bedrock from Amazon. I say yes. But why we are talking about ChatGPT is that ChatGPT was the first. And if you look at the tools, I would say still today, for an entrepreneur, whether a sole entrepreneur, a bigger team, one of the best tools from the get-go. It's very easy to use because what you see here, that's where you write the prompt. That's where you write what you want the language model to create. You can ask questions. Again, we have to know these language models do hallucinate. How have they been trained? All this. But maybe the other important button here is if you look at the upper left-hand corner, and you see the ChatGPT 3.5, that's where you see which model you're using. Either if you're using the free account, then it will be the 3.5, and now even free accounts have access to a certain amount of 4.0 queries, prompts per day. But already at this point, I warmly recommend, if you're an entrepreneur, and this is a tool that you use, the investment that you do, you can pay month by month, and the better 4 version has so many tools that you can utilize. I warmly welcome it to use it. But what you see also left of the ChatGPT 3.5, you see kind of notebook and a pen icon there. And this is something that one of the few training part is that always when you go from one topic to another, take a new chat. So you keep one item in one chat. Like, let's say Daniel and myself, we would have wanted to use ChatGPT to help to market the webinar. We might have had here question, hey, we're doing a webinar on AI tools for entrepreneurs. What could be good taglines for our webinar? And we would get taglines for the webinar. Or we could, if we would change the subject, let's say now we wanted to understand something about the webinar jam, I would always take a new chat. So the tagline of the webinar is a separate chat. Then how to use webinar jam, and I mean, ChatGPT is quite a good guidebook. That would be separate. Then I would go to third topic. That would be, hey, we want to do pricing decisions for our company. That would be third. So always when you're having a new topic, take a new chat. But otherwise, look at this, how simple user interface this is. Beautiful. I also want to take, this is the Copilot if you're using Microsoft tools. There, one thing that Microsoft Copilot is actually 3 different tools. It's the one that you could use if you don't have a corporate account, like your Gmail. Then you would have all the past chat history visible. If you're using your Microsoft account so that it is your corporate email and it's a corporate account, it is safe and secure. You can share whatever, and it doesn't train the model, so it doesn't leave your company. But the hindsight is you don't get the chat history, which for me is a big no-no. That's why I'll still go back. In the ChatGPT, here in the left-hand corner, you can see the arrow. You can get the chat history there. It is widely important for myself that I can go back to a chat I had, maybe a pricing decision, and continue from there. Excellent. But here also, the third, and when people talk about Microsoft Copilot, it is often the M365, which you buy a license for a full year. So that would be roughly 30 euros per month. We're not going to go that much to Copilot. It is very often bigger organizations that use it, but the same ways of working, actually the engine behind Microsoft is all open AI. So they work the same way. Why are we here? Why are we having a webinar on artificial intelligence and AI tools? That is because I have been working with artificial intelligence for the past 10 years. And very often it was so that small companies, even smaller companies, really didn't have access to AI tools because you had to be quite knowledgeable. You had to have maybe somebody who knew the data. You had to have people who were focusing on your tools, and it cost a lot. Still, let's go 8 years back. It was a quite significant investment to start to create a model of your own. Then 2017, we saw the Google research to come up with what we have today, the transformers, which is the GPT. But even I was working with the language models, but you had so many bells and whistles that you had to, it was like going to a concert and somebody was mixing up the whole room. ChatGPT is actually a user interface that changed the game. And what I mean by democratized AI, and this might be bad news for you, but there is no way to create competitive advantage with these tools. I often, when I work with leadership teams, and they come to ask me, hey, Antti, we want to understand how can we have competitive advantage? And I have to tell them, you can't. These tools are widely available for any individual, any company. So as an entrepreneur, your choice is to either choose, is your competition using it, or is your competition and you using it? This is the only choice you can make, and because you can't make choices for your competition. Also, I love Professor Ethan Mollick from Wharton University says that if you take let's say a US big US company director, and you take anybody anywhere in the world walking on the street with a cell phone, most probably this random person with a cell phone and Wi-Fi has better access to free AI tools than the person working for a big US corporation, because the IT team is saying too many dangers, you can't use this, you can't do that. And this is what we're looking at. Everybody has access, but that we're talking about same things. When we're talking about language models, they are all part of generative AI. And generative AI is to generate something. Text has been there for a year and a half, even more with the previous models. Then we have photos. We've all seen the marketing materials made out of Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, and video, which is coming fast. We're not spending too much time on video today. I'm going to mention a few things about different tools. And this is where we are with AI tools. Large language model is the model that we are using. It has created its understanding of the world by using all the knowledge in the open internet. So this means that we're able to have assistant, even if you're a sole entrepreneur, that you're able to have knowledge of the all wide internet that exists there. ChatGPT is one example out of these. And today we are not spending too much time on the basics, but there are a few things we have to understand so that we can talk about same things. This is the same thing if I, let's say, I do a training for a company, and there we have to have knowledge. We have to understand how these models are trained, because we have to know, why do these models tell lies? Like ChatGPT has this small text. Not all information might be correct. Especially if you have a team, this is important. So you have to have a broader understanding. You don't have to take a class. Pretty much this webinar covers what you're going to need. But you have to understand what is the data that you need to do all of these things that ChatGPT, Llama, all these models can do. How did it learn? What do we have to be careful about? And this is kind of the broader knowledge to create a mutual language, mutual knowledge about the topic, that you and your team are not spending time on talking my least favorite term is it the Terminator? Is the Terminator coming? No, it's not coming. So in a way, we understand the limitations. Then we zoom down one level. Now we're at the level of your organization. Here, I would like you to pause for a second. Before we go into what are the skills, what's the knowledge needed for us so that we can use AI tools to better market, to sell our tools, our services, our products. My question to you is, how are your clients and your client expectations changing with these tools? Because let me give you an example. Customer service, especially if you have a lot of products, it's difficult to find people who get so much knowledge that they can answer questions like, is this pin, can you use it with this tool? So there's a lot of small technical knowledge. Today, it is not very difficult to give all these manuals to language model so that the language model can actually either self-service, answer the customer's question, or that if you have customer service people, they can quickly do a query, ask a prompt to your internal ChatGPT that really knows which parts fit to which engines, if that would be your case. This is something that we have never had before. This is like, again, if you wanted to build this I think that the price tag was tenfold just 3 years ago. So go figure. How does your customers, are their expectations changing with these tools, i.e., how are your competitors better able to serve you, your customers, maybe, and then bring it to your company, your organization? How are you able to do it? Like, what skills do you need? How to use these tools? Who are the most important people? In English, the saying low-hanging fruit. I bet you that, like today, we're looking at marketing. How can you utilize these tools to better create marketing text? And it's not only write me the text, but especially I had a chance to coach and train many social media and marketing managers of hotels, of restaurants. And one of their questions was, hey, I've been working for the same company now for 5 years. Like, I'm repeating myself. When the summer starts, hey, we have specials on Sundays or whatever it is. And these tools can help you to innovate new approaches to the same services, same products that you're already using. But our main point today is you. I want you to leave today with at least one clear idea on how to utilize these tools better in the future, so that you're able to get things done faster. You're getting new ideas, so that you're able to put time to those tasks, those jobs that really matter to you and to your customers. When we're looking at GPT and then ChatGPT, this is the language model behind ChatGPT. I want us to cover briefly. We already know generating, pre-trained. This matters because very often people make jokes about ChatGPT or other models not knowing something. If you ask a factual question, what countries belong to Scandinavia? What are the countries or whatever of EU? So, I mean, there's only one correct answer at one time point. So this model has been created getting all the information of the open internet. One of the especially in the US, one of the big questions when the first ChatGPT models was where was Barack Obama born? If you remember, when Obama was running for president, there were a lot of misinformation. So people knew that Barack Obama was born in Hawaii, but people said he was born outside US, making false information to internet so that he wouldn't be electable. So this was one of the classic questions where there was false information, not a lot, but some, and the other one was correct. So occasionally you can get a wrong answer. And this is for you important. Why? Because if you're creating your marketing texts with ChatGPT, you really have to understand that you are responsible of the facts. These all language models hallucinate. They create stories. And it's a way of they take the most probable words and create information. But you have to understand that it is not always factual. So the way you can be using as an entrepreneur these tools, the best way is absolutely that you're using it for ideation. Like, let's say we want to advertise these and these products. What would be new ways of advertising? So remember that the pre-training also includes false information. For us, the transformer, it's good enough to say it's a technology that does the lottery each time, because it is pretty much what a language model is. Thus, please remember, if you're asking for facts, ChatGPT sometimes does a really good job, but ChatGPT nor any other large language model shouldn't be treated as Google. Because if you want factual, and I know Google just made their AI tools available and the success hasn't been stellar thus far. But my point here is, if you're looking for factual information, then you should rely on sources that you can trust. Of course, also ChatGPT and Copilot, for that matter, give you in their GPT-4 version, they give the sources, so you can use them. But let me just give you an example. Let's say your business is going well. You recognize you need to hire somebody, a new person, marketing manager. What are the use cases where you should use, in this case, ChatGPT? Absolutely doing, hey, we're hiring a new marketing manager. Let's say we're a carpet cleaning business. We're hiring a marketing manager. What are the key skills our marketing managers should have from the get-go? So ideation. The next step, I want to do a job ad. Hey, Andy's Carpet Cleaning, let that be the company. Andy's Carpet Cleaning is hiring for a new marketing manager. Here is the job ad that we're using. Again, a great place to use ChatGPT. But the third step, when you're signing the contract, do not use ChatGPT to write the contract, because there's so many jurisdiction. You need to have perfect form for that. So there you need to use a lawyer, your entrepreneurship club, whoever you use, so that you get it right. But for the ideation phase, just great. You need to remember these are machines that do lottery of the words every time. And that's why if it's a legal paper, don't use it. If it's something you want to create, absolutely use it. And here, one of our main things is that you'll never be alone. I know that goes to soccer for some, but my point here is you never have to be there thinking, hey, I'm starting a new business line, or I'm moving from products to services. I want to create a new text. Chill. Now you have a tool that you can use. You have an assistant that can help you, or you have even a mentor that can help you to create a new business strategy, to create marketing materials, or even social media ads. And this is pretty much what is so wild about this thing. And my point here being that these, although I'm talking a lot about ChatGPT, these tools are coming to all of the digital tools that we're using. So that might be if you're using Microsoft Word, the Copilot is already there. Excel, for example, and same in Google Slides and Docs. And I often say that in the future, what helps us, like I'm a PowerPoint person, surprise, surprise, helps us using Excel is that I can talk to my Excel. However, a Word person told me once that I don't want to have a discussion with my Excel, and I understand it's more reserved for people who have this I love Excel pin. But in all honesty, you don't have to know VLOOKUP function. You have to now explain what you need to do. And after the next slide, I'll invite Daniel if we have any questions we want to have a look at this point, but I'll still give you this. This is kind of, I don't know, I hope this is not a warning sign, but if you create value using your keyboard, your job is going to change. Not overnight, not all at once, but remember that everybody in the whole wide world has access to these tools today. And so if you're sticking into 2 fingers, 4 fingers, 6 fingers, that's okay. But we are all here to serve our clients. They might be internal clients, external clients, B2B, B2C. But those parts of my job, and I mean, I could be, I don't know, a baker, and I bake 4 hours a day, but 4 hours, the other 4 hours of the day, I'm doing marketing. I'm having emails being coming and sending to my customers, and there these tools can help. But at this point, Daniel, is there something you want to give us to consider at this point?
Yeah, 2 seconds there. So now I'm here. Yeah, I'm very interesting all this, and what we learn is that we shouldn't use it as a source of information, right? Like ChatGPT. And you in this last slide, you say if you create value with your keyboard, your job is going to change. I see a lot of ads saying you might not be replaced by AI, but you will be replaced by someone who knows how to work with AI. Is that like a correct way of putting it?
I think it is. And again, I don't have the arrogance to tell any people in our audience, your job is X, Y, or Z, changing like this. Yeah. But I would like to think that this is kind of doing your job with the latest machinery. I have an example here that even people who are using old machinery can utilize these tools. And it's kind of what we're seeing, that we're saving time. We're soon going to like look at our roles. And if let's say you're the carpet cleaning master of your city, that's what you do really well. This is not going to tell you how to better clean carpets. You know it. You have the silent knowledge. But how to market your knowledge, how to market your company, how to sell better, give you new ideas. These are the tools. These are the part of the ways that if you're using generative AI tools, you are better at than if you're not. So in a way, what you said, it's pretty true.
Yeah, I can, as an example, I have a friend who runs a bike shop here in Västerås, and he knows how to repair bikes, but he doesn't know that much about marketing. But he's actually using AI right now to create like SEO optimization of his website. So he learned like how to prompt, and he also not going to do a lot of commercial here for Loopia, but our SEO tool with AI is helping him. Like he knows he wants to rank high on bike shop Västerås, and the AI helps him to do that, because without that he would need to hire people to do it for him. So that's an example of how a person who's not in the business of computers actually can use AI.
Exactly. And there, again, you can think of generative AI like ChatGPT, like a Swiss knife, that you have multiple tools and a small clippers and whatnot. But if you were, I don't know, you have a sushi restaurant and you have a sushi chef who has a really good knife for cutting salmon, you shouldn't be thinking that you can do the same level of finesse with do it everything your Swiss Army knife. And this holds true to your SEO. So if your option is that you don't know nothing, absolutely ChatGPT can help you to understand SEO, to create these texts. But still, if you look at like the SEO tools out there, they might cost you for professionals 3 to 4 times what you pay for ChatGPT. So in a way, also manage your expectations. You're not getting the best sushi knife, but you're getting a hell of a nice Swiss Army knife with ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's good. We have 2 questions from the audience there. One is a common question we usually see about what you put into ChatGPT and copyright. So they ask, if I put all my written stuff like homepage, etc., do I lose my copyright to this if I put it in my own ChatGPT?
I'll answer twofold. You have the possibility to switch your ChatGPT in the settings that you are not sharing your information. You can choose in settings, I think data settings, and put, there's 2 things that happens. You're not sharing your data to OpenAI, the company, but you lose also your history. The other thing is that copyright is a threefold matter. We just had a 3-hour webinar on the topic, so now in 30 seconds. What about the copyright of the stuff that trains the model? What about the copyright, like your prompts, how you create stuff? And the most important for entrepreneurs, what is the copyright of the text or the images that I create with AI tools? Here's the short version. You have to know your local legislation. At the moment, Europe doesn't have any AI copyright legislation. So we're a blank slate. But the point is, with text, we don't know if it was created with machines or with generative AI, or if it was created by humans. Like, we have no certainty if it was made way or the other. But with images, rule of thumb, again, you have to understand, if you're paying for the tool, you can utilize it even commercially. if this is you're using Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, but you don't get the copyright. Confusing? So can I use it? You can, but you don't get the copyright to your friend's bike shop or Andy's carpet shop.
Okay, thank you. And I have a question from Alicia, but I'm going to save it because I think you might talk about it now. So go ahead and I will jump out of screen again.
Excellent. Catch you in a bit. Great questions. But so if you create value with keyboard, your job is going to change. But now I want to go really into examples and hands-on stuff. You could say this is opinion, but most part our jobs are changing. Our tasks that we do as entrepreneur is about we're creating text, we're doing memos, we're writing emails, we're whatever communication we do a lot with text. And so these are the main tools. If I wouldn't know where you have your cloud, I would say the ChatGPT Plus, or there's also Team, not Teams, but Team version if you have a team. And why I'm not suggesting the free version, because you're a professional entrepreneur, you should use professional tools. ChatGPT Plus is such. So you have to have tools. You get so much faster results or better results with GPT-4, also GPT 4.0. If you don't know the difference, that's okay. It's a better engine. One thing that is important for us coming from small language areas, if you want to do translations between Swedish and English or Swedish and Spanish, GPT-4 is much more capable. You really want to use these paid models to do that. If your environment, your cloud environment, your email is Outlook, then Copilot from Microsoft is a great tool. But again, you have to pay to get the best version to utilize in your Word, Excel, so on and so forth. And Gemini from Google. If you're a Google Worksuite user, Gemini has access to your tools. Advanced user info. This was just updated last week. Also, ChatGPT can now get you files from OneDrive, OneDrive Business, and Google Drive. But the paid version, so you can connect your OneDrive or your Google Drive, and you can get documents from your cloud drive. Also, thing that is often asked when we go to the images, today we're focusing more on text, but images, what are the best image tools? If you're already using Photoshop, Photoshop has their own AI features, which are pretty handy. But pure AI tools, Midjourney is the one. Maybe if you spend 2 evenings practicing, you take some YouTube classes, you're already able to prompt quite well Midjourney, different images. If you want to spend, I don't know, better part of a week to understanding these tools, then it's Stable Diffusion. That would be the tool. Again, I don't have any affiliation with Häng, the video generator, but let's say you want to create an AI avatar that is helping your people to create different stories. That would absolutely be there. That would be Häng. This is the picture that I talked to you about. If the bigger circle is your job, don't expect this to be right in the middle to your carpet cleaning business or bike repair shop, how to better repair bikes. No. This is on the outskirts of the bigger circle where the tools are going to help you very, very soon. I'm going to give you an example. This is actually the world's first AI coffee. And you go like, AI coffee? But it's not only an AI generated image. I have it here with me. What we did, we took a local coffee roastery. This is a picture of their roasting, the roaster, the machine. That machine was designed 1952 to roast coffee. Of course, it is a newer version, but the design. And we wanted to understand if we can help taking all the information, written information that they have about their coffees. And we took that information and brought that information so that we did an analysis. So we were able to create the best possible coffee from this year's beans. And sometimes you really get lucky. Fortune favors the prepared. This is the Washington Post. In Germany, Der Spiegel. In many other places, when we launched this, it was sold out. And so this is my example of a small company. There are less than 15 people. We joined forces. We used data analysis, AI tools. We started with very, very basic tools to create these new coffee blend. And it was done together with human and AI. This is something that I also wanted to share with you regarding the tools, because you are using the tools, but why I think you shouldn't be using too many tools is that the tools go so fast forward. This is from my friend. His name is also Antti, and he's a wizard in creating images. In October 21, that took him 20 minutes. In November 23, creating 4 images lasted 4 seconds. So 20 minutes, 1 second. 20 minutes, 1 second. This is something that we are seeing right now when we're looking at how fast the technology is moving forward. And what you should take from here is that it is virtually impossible for one person to be using Google Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT, I don't know, Claude, Anthropic, different tools, and to understand how these tools are changing. And this is something that we have to understand when we're utilizing these tools. Let's go into prompting. When you're prompting, I really suggest you would use this 3 prompt in 1 or 3 verses. So you should give the language model a role. Like, let's say you're a copywriter, you want to write text. You should give it a task. Okay, you're writing a blog about your new carpet cleaning service, whatever. And give it an example or a tone. And important is, write all this information to the box before hitting send, the arrow button. So my example here is, you're a copywriter, write blog headlines. Okay, purpose of the blog is to inform about a new service. So let's say we're sending this blog as a newsletter to all our existing customers. They know who we are, they know what we've done, but let's say we have a home delivery service for carpet cleaning. So this is something new. And also recognize here that I didn't want to go from A to Z right away. Like what could have been the lazy prompt would have been, I want you to write a blog about the new home delivery of carpets after cleaning. There, I would have hoped that I get from A to Z instantaneously. In this case, I'm chopping it into small pieces, but I'm also giving the language model a role so that the language model would be taking a more sophisticated view, like a copywriter. Here are a few tips that I want to share with you regarding prompting. So ask me 5 questions is a one, I would say it's a more advanced prompt, but it's really easy. You can ask the language model to ask you 5 questions. Like, again, what myself and Daniel could have done is that, hey, we're doing a webinar on AI tools for entrepreneurs. Ask me 5 questions so that you can help me to do the best possible content for this webinar. The other thing is what I just mentioned. Break the task into pieces. So not write a blog, but brainstorm. What would be a good blog about the topic? Suggest titles, write, revise. So you're chopping it into different pieces. Let me give you an example. Here. This is, I took a ChatGPT, and so you can see the prompt. There I went directly into ask me 5 questions so that I can create a home delivery service for carpet cleaning. Now it's me and his carpet cleaning, and we're figuring out to create a home delivery service. And ChatGPT, I'm using ChatGPT 4. It starts with, great, setting up home delivery service involves various factors. 5 questions that you could help to define your business model. Target market, service area, service offerings. Do you recognize that these are the same questions a business mentor would be asking you to do? So if you would have somebody who's experienced creating new services, new products, and this is something that I warmly recommend, the 5 questions, ask me 5 questions. I call it turning the tables, because now you're able to have so much more from those tools. The other example was what we're using here. You're an experienced copywriter. Give it a roll. I want you to create 10 blog headlines. The purpose of the blog is to tell customers about the new home delivery carpet wash. So give it a roll, give it a task, give it something extra information. And ta-da! Here it is. Some of these are very US American before and after. See the impact of our home delivery carpet cleaning. My point here is you get new thinking. Even if you're tired after the whole day, you get something out of it. And this is, I would say, the value of AI. As an entrepreneur, I would recommend that your time is your most valuable asset. So if you need to answer customer complaints, of course, if it's personal, answer personally. But if it's something general, use these tools to create the baseline of the answer and then insert the right information. But while we are moving towards the end of our session, one of the things that I wanted to share with you is this. This is like a AI tool map already from a while ago. But my point is, there are tools for everything. There are so many tools that if you think that you will try Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, but at the same time you're going to Gemini and ChatGPT, but you also want to be using Copy AI and Writer to writing, sorry, you're not going to do it. I know. So less tools, more time learning how to use, how language models use, how you are using those for the best results. Because my favorite example of the pace of these tools is actually, I mentioned Professor Ethan Malik, and this is the Otter case he did. So he wanted to follow how fast AI tools in images are moving. So he wanted to create a year-long test. The prompt was, I want to see an otter in an airplane using Wi-Fi. This is day 0, first test. And you don't see the airplane and the otter is above the cloud. So not very well. Let's skip 1 month forward. You already start to have, you absolutely are in an airplane. They're using tablets. Somebody's still reading a magazine. Forward 1 month. You can already see that they're using different laptops, and they all except one have noise canceling headphones. So they absolutely are on an, and they are photogenic. They look like the otter. This is actually month 4 when Ethan Malik stopped the test, because now he already had control to change the sea otter to lake otter, or the vice versa. But you catch my drift. My point here is, we are only in the beginning. So like today, instead of us going to ChatGPT, giving you a training, that's not the thing. I hope you're getting enthusiastic about using these tools, getting to know for your business, what are the best use cases? Where are you spending a lot of time? Are you doing social media ads if you're business to consumer? Are you spending a lot of with your presentations if you're B2B, you're creating proposals? Maybe that is where your low-hanging fruit is. So, new topic, new chat. So you get a good library of chats. If you are, in case you're still using a free tool, and we're in the European Union, don't enter customer data like name, email, address, so on and so forth. Don't do it. So, rule of thumb, if you wouldn't be comfortable leaving it as a print to your local cafeteria when you go to take an extra cup, don't put it inside free tools. If you're using paid tools, corporate tools, it's a different thing. The cybersecurity is different, but you have to know which tool you're using. And finally, practice, try new things, share what is going well, because we are only in the beginning. And like said, this is the unknown world that we're tackling right now. Nobody knows, but you know your customers the best. You have the tools. And at this point, thank you so much for choosing to spend the time with us. My name is Antti Merilehto. And now let's move on into questions.
Yes, thank you very much for all of that. A lot of information and a lot of new things to learn. And we got a question that Alicia, she wanted you to elaborate a little bit more on why ChatGPT ahead of maybe Google, for example. Why, when is the best time to use which one?
Great question. These are opinions, but also I read quite a lot about how different people like. If you want to do, if you want Google, like let's say Gemini versus ChatGPT, you have hundreds of different blogs giving you the best results or where to use it. For me, ChatGPT, it is still giving me all in all, like if I have to choose one tool, then it would be because the Swiss Army knife is really there. If I'm writing longer texts, a tool that I didn't mention was the Anthropic Claude. Magnificent tool if you need to write longer text. But so reason why I'm recommending either one of these three is if you are in Google environment, then Gemini is absolutely a great tool.
Thank you. And then we have a question from Hadi. He says, how should companies change their mindset regarding cost and benefit of using AI? For example, the cost of using a large language model, APIs, and security for data stored in the cloud, contra investing more in the company's production.
Again, it depends. The perfect consultant answer. My point here is like with the coffee company, Kaffa Roastery, there we had a business case that I think it went along the lines, if we're able to create coffee that is actually good, and it would be the world's first coffee done with language models, media would be interested in. We created the coffee, and because it's made out of beans that they already source from different places, the coffee tastes great. It's like everyday. It's a great everyday coffee. And as we saw, Washington Post, Der Spiegel, Australian Times, like so many different news outlets were really interested in coffee made with AI. And it made a great business case. My point here is you should be calculating your business case. Now we're getting so many APIs that are doing what we had 6 months ago with a fraction of the cost. And okay, this is very advanced, but this is one tip. You shouldn't be trying, in my opinion, what is the fastest, best tool for your purpose. You should be looking, what is the cheapest language model that can do good enough job if you're doing with API when you might have thousands or tens of thousands of calls and the cost is getting up. But always do the business case and make sure that if the business case flies, the customer is getting value out of it so that they're getting something better than they did before.
Yeah. So sort of like don't jump in too quickly either. Like you shouldn't go with the mindset we should use AI and you don't really know what to use it for. You might have to wait for your moment when your product is there. Right?
Yes, and for any investment where you want to bring a language model through API as part of your product engineering, do the business case. Yes. However, and now all of the participants in this webinar, everybody who's watching the recording, don't wait to start exploring in your everyday job, in your emails, in your whatever is your memo, your presentations. Start using it today. There, your job is to explore, because the opportunity cost is that the longer time you take to get the basics, then other people are really much well ahead. So doing a business case, creating a product with AI, figure out the business case, individual use today.
Interesting. Thank you. And then we have a question. You showed an image with a great overview of all the AI tools out there.
Yep.
Is that available somewhere online?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sharing the material. You can see there. That would be for the people who were part of or signed up for the webinar. So you can get that material. But absolutely, because it's already outdated. Anything that is published is already outdated.
Yes. But talking about outdated, if you know the information you get from ChatGPT, how updated is it?
The question is twofold. If we're using a model that is offline, so GPT 3.5, that would be early 2022 right now. Last time I checked, always with these tools, last week. And I checked GPT 4.0, which was just released in May, and I would say that is mid-2023. But you have to remember, with Copilot GPT-4, with Gemini, with ChatGPT paid version, you are getting access to do an internet search. So if it's something that happened last week or earlier today, you're actually able to do a query, a prompt. I want to know what happened there, and there. Do an internet search. So it will do a web search. So on the other hand, the model is real time, so to say. It gets information from real-time world, but the model depending always when it's updated.
Okay, interesting. And you talked about low-hanging fruits, if you remember. You mentioned, and how does that relate to customers? Is a question from Henrik here.
Again, knowing your customers is something that, what would be something that your customers value? Would it be faster service, faster customer service? Whatever it is, maybe it would be a different kind of service. Andy's Carpet Service is now absolutely doing home delivery in the future. Of course, we have to do cost-benefit analysis. We have to do focus groups to figure out what would be the perfect price point, so on and so forth. Like I can't do market analysis on ChatGPT and then launch. We all get this. But use ChatGPT to describe your business, your value proposition, and then ask, what would my customers most probably like? I'm here in Västerås. I have a bike shop. What's something that Swedish bike shops don't offer, but we could see maybe in forums that people would really want and they would be willing to pay for it? This could be a prompt.
Nice. Yeah, good thing. And we're starting to run out of time. So unfortunately, we don't have time for all the questions. But one is important. You talked about earlier about the data, if it was secure and stuff. If I would pay for the ChatGPT for the premium version, the data that I put in there is still not like copyrighted, right? It's still, if I don't click that this is my own data, it's still going to be out there for everyone, right?
Short answer, if you click it, if you keep it to yourself, it won't go train the model. But I just want to make sure that even if you use it to train the model, it will be bits and pieces. It won't be in a one single text box that somebody could use it. OpenAI could use it to train the model sometimes in the future, but it is not out there so that people can see the bike shop in Västerås and their marketing plan.
Interesting. And the last question, a good transcript tool that works with Swedish. I've been starting to use Copilot here since they released the Swedish version of Copilot a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Would you say that's the best transcript tool for meetings?
Word, Microsoft Word does pretty good. Like if you have an MP4, Microsoft Word does actually pretty good.
Okay, so I record a meeting and then I upload it.
Or if you have just a recording, but absolutely, if you are in Microsoft environment, Teams Premium plus Copilot does the job right away. But you have to have both Teams Premium, and when it goes to Microsoft licenses, it's a jungle. I need to use Google.
Nice. Perfect. But then, yeah, we're had reached the end of this AI webinar, and I would say thank you again to you, Antti, and thank you to everyone watching. We were a lot of people here, over 300 people listening to you.
Excellent. And I want to say thank you for your time. I'm happy to connect in LinkedIn. I'm the only Antti Merilehto in the world, and this is what I do. If I can help your company to move forward, please contact me. Let's work together. Thank you for your time. All the best.
Thank you. And I'm the only Daniel Overfjord in the world. So thank you, everyone. And see you next time in the next webinar.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.